You're watching The Urban Debate. I'm Faye D'Souza. On to our second debate this evening. Despite the alarming rise in the number of child abuse cases reported in Bangalore, the Siddaramaiah government has no plan yet to regulate preschool and daycare centres in the city. The mandatory registration has been made compulsory for the government, is in fact up till kindergarten, which is LKG and UKG, or junior KG and senior KG as it's called in other cities. It still leaves creches, daycare and play school out of its ambit. This in fact comes as a big surprise, as despite the shocking reports of sexual abuse that has just surfaced in the city of Bangalore.
In the wake of recent spate in child molestation cases in preschools, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah directed the Education Department to compulsorily include standalone preschools under the Karnataka Education Act of 1983. Now, this decision comes right after a 3.5-year-old girl was molested at a preschool in Bengaluru. Once a fresh notification is issued, a week's deadline will be given to the individual schools across the state to get themselves registered within the block education officer. A draft is being prepared by the Education Department, which says strict action will be taken against schools that flout rules. Now, according to the Education Department that was passed in 2005, it was not mandatory for individual owned preschools to register with the department, and now the 2005 order will soon cease to exist, and the new amendment will be implemented in a week's time. The department will amend the act, which will in fact include major parts of child protection policy. In Bengaluru, Shrija for Magicbricks Now.
All the unaided institutions which take in students would come under the purview of RT, except for institutions with minority status.
Also, ma'am, the recent Karnataka Education Act of 2005, how about even preschools are also included in this? Daycares are also included?
Preschools, as in LKG, would be included. So the lowest level at which you are admitting, if it is LKG, then you have to do the admission at LKG. Otherwise, it would be from 1st standard to 8th standard.
Okay, ma'am. Are you planning to actually come up with this new rules or new amendment as far as the recent molestation is concerned with the Bengaluru issue, ma'am?
There are existing acts which are enumerated, and we also have a child protection policy, but then we would be trying to include it in the act and the provisions of Karnataka Education Act.
Okay, ma'am. So also my question to you here is, like, when are you planning to implement this as well? Are you planning to bring in more rules, more act as far as the daycare and preschools are concerned?
Daycare would be covered by Women and Child Development Department, but when it comes to preschool, pre-primary school, yes, we would be trying to implement it.
Okay. Yeah. What are the policies that you're looking at, ma'am, as far as the child is concerned?
Child protection policy is already there in existence, which was issued by the WCD. So all the acts which pertain to this kind of issues is enumerated. So under that act, we'll be taking action. But the thing is, in every school, you need to make certain committees, and then there would be a monitoring committee. These are the things that would be implemented in these institutions. Yeah.
Also, ma'am, we hear that as per Karnataka Education Act of 2000, in 2000 it was said that daycares and as well as preschools were not supposed to be included or was not required. But now that this recent spate of molestations in the recent preschool, are you planning to ask more and more preschools to register as per this act?
As per the acts and rules, they need to be registered. 1997 rules, they need to be registered. There was a circular in between which is being withdrawn by the government.
Okay.
Yeah, wherein standalone institutions were not required to be registered. Yeah.
Okay. Why is that, ma'am? Why was standalone not required actually?
Well, that was the decision taken by the government then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So will it now be included, ma'am?
Yeah, now everybody, whether it is a standalone institution or institution along with 1st to 10th, it would be included. Yeah.
Okay, so when you say standalone institutions will be...
Only LKG, UKG.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, ma'am, what we understand is that how many standalone institutions are there? That is the franchises, especially here in Bangalore.
Because now they are not registered, I wouldn't have the number with me, but once it's registered, we'll give you the number.
Okay. Are you planning to keep a check on these standalone institutions, whether they're going to register or not? Because what we understand is that this particular...
there would be a drive on that.
Well, that was a representative of the Karnataka government talking about what is being done right now. And I just want to bring our viewers up to date. 40 parents of one play school have reported that their children have complained about being molested in school by one Manjunath. That Manjunath is now in custody. But the parents have told us that they had a fairly difficult time getting the police to take action. They had a very, very difficult time getting the police to take action against the school. And we have to keep pointing out that the government right now, while it brought in a child protection policy last year, that policy has not been implemented. And now where they're talking about that child protection policy, it will only be implemented until the LKG upwards, which means that play schools and creches will not be covered. Joining me on the show this evening, parents of that one particular play school who complained about what had happened. We've concealed their identities, but they have been very brave and very supportive, and they have come in to tell their stories and to tell us what they expect from the government of Karnataka. Trisha Shetty joining me in the Mumbai studio is a lawyer and an activist who fights for women and children. Tanveer Ahmed, spokesperson of the JDS. Major Aditi Mohan is a retired army officer and an activist who has been fighting alongside these parents shoulder to shoulder. Nagaraj Yadav is the Congress spokesperson on this panel. Vasudeva Sharma is an advocate who deals particularly with protection of children in sexual offences cases or POCSO cases. I want to go straight to the parents. I want to appreciate the fact that you have come in to talk about this, what I know is going to be a very, very disturbing conversation for you to have. Would you please tell us what your family has been going through? Whichever one of you wants to speak, start speaking first. And tell us what sort of support you believe you've received from either the police or the state government.
So from a family standpoint,
Yes.
you know, one of the plea that we have, right? This was a tough time for our kids, right? Our family. Instead of being with them, you know, in last 10 days, literally we have to run pillar to post to get the justice. And believe me or not, we all believe today somewhere that, you know, no action will be taken against because laws are weak. Now we are hearing that preschools will not come under some ambit of policies. There are no policies. There's no one organization that can take action. This says that, you know, we can't, education ministry says we can't. Trust me, you know, we don't know.
So preschools and you know, daycares, are they not children? I mean, who has the rights to keep children in institutions without getting registered? We were not even aware of all of this. And I mean, now, okay, now that you have woke up to this thought, good. But what about our children who've already been through it? We need some justice. We need something to look back and say that, you know what, we stood up for a cause and we did get some justice. Now you can go ahead and talk like umpteen number of times that we are going to change the policy. I don't care. My child is in nursery and now still she will not be able to, you know, go to a school which is registered. Sorry. This is just crazy. We're just going crazy. We're morning 7 o'clock to night 11 o'clock. We're just running pillar to post just to get justice. And we go to police. They say we are doing our duty, ma'am. We have already given the request to the court. Government is shaking their heads off that there's no rule as such. Legal department or our lawyers are saying that, you know, it's a difficult battle to fight, to hold accountability of the authorities. Who do we go to? Today, believe me, today is the worst day when we're feeling really helpless. Is it our fault that we came in front and we are telling the world that our children went through all of this?
And primarily, when there are no laws covering the preschool, the crashes, the daycare, the play school and the nursery classes, why were they even allowed to run such an institution without the laws being made?
Don't these people have their own children? Please tell us, which schools do you send your children to? We'll rather, you know, have our children go there. I mean, we don't know where they will be safe now. It's just very frustrating. I'm sorry for shouting out here, but it's just very frustrating. Today is 10th day and we haven't heard from any affirmation from any authority saying, you know what, authorities are being held accountable. We have no idea what's happening.
No, I want to point out to the parents that this is a panel, this is a platform being made available to you. If you need to shout, if you need to yell, if you need to tell us how you're feeling, this is the time to do it, because it's not just the government listening, but the rest of the city and the rest of the country are listening as well, which means there are other parents who, just like you, would have possibly not realized that preschools or play schools or creches are not being regulated, that the governments have absolutely no handle on who's running these schools and in what manner. Is there any other parent who would like to say something?
And probably this is the reason why parents do not come out, because they know this is a tough battle. They rather be with their children than fight out, right? And 10 days, you know, we have seen the sheer negligence,
Fake promises.
But then most of the advisors are saying there are no laws which exist where you can make the school administration accountable. Now, how sad is that?
To a point where the schools, the specific school in case has dared to reach out to parents saying that the school is now open.
That was the worst thing. I mean,
like our entire fight is the guys behind the bars. There are umpteen number of schools in Bangalore. If there is no action, we do not admit our students, we do not admit our kids to the accused. We go to the school, we talk to the principal, we talk to the admin persons. It is based on their assurance, the talks that they give, we admit our kids to the school. If they are not held accountable, the rest of the schools in Bangalore, or for that matter around the country, they will be encouraged that no matter what happens, we will never be held accountable. The reason we have come out is, of course, for our kids, but for all the other kids that are out over there. It is not just for our kids. If the school management is not held accountable, when it comes to taking the money, making the profits, they are all there. When it comes to the accountability portion, none of them are there.
And
the law authorities are with them, the police authorities are with them, the government is with them.
The police had visited the school and spoken to the parents who were protesting and said that they would do everything in their power to give you justice that you needed. Did the police keep their word?
They did not.
So they're probably investigating right away, right? But then, end of the day, when we speak to experts who are probably lawyers and they know about the law, they say law are so weak that no matter what police says, they will go scot-free. See, end of the day, police will work in the area of law, right? What law is written. Right, and it's so depressing to hear from experts which says they will get scot-free because there's no law which can make them accountable. It is very tough to prove. Now, if there are no rules and regulations for preschools will say that we didn't have any policy to follow. What are you asking us to follow?
We're talking about 2-year-old kids, 1.5-year-old kids.
So we heard in yesterday's debate, we heard Soumya Reddy talked about a policy being framed. It is more than a year that a policy has been framed. Probably some new policies will come out. I'm not sure what this government of the police authorities are waiting for. Like इनको ये लगता है कि कुछ हो जाए किसी बच्चे के साथ, उसके बाद ये जागेंगे क्या?
होने के बाद
इतना कुछ होने के बाद भी अभी तक ये सो रहे हैं. इनको क्या लगता है कोई बच्चा मर जाए, कुछ पेरेंट्स आग लगा के जल जाए, क्या करेंगे पेरेंट्स, कहाँ जाएंगे?
Let's open up this debate. I want to start with Vasudeva Sharma, who's an advocate who deals specifically in cases of sexual offence against children. Vasudeva Sharma, why is it that these parents feel that they are fighting a losing battle, that the law is not on their side and they're not going to be able to get justice?
That's very natural. I appreciate the feelings of the parents. What has happened in the past is that many cases which have gone to court have got no results. There are several reasons for that. I'm not bringing in these set of parents. But in the past, what has happened when a case of child molestation or child sexual abuse reaches the court, many public prosecutors have shared with me that sometimes the parents back out. And sometimes children also feel so bad that they have to attend the court proceedings for a long period. There is no support system for the parents. There is no support system for the children. There is no counseling services for the children. As a result, the conviction rate is very less, and that results in somebody else getting scot-free. Well, now
let me also bring in Trisha Shetty, who's in the studio with me. Trisha Shetty, this is a horrible case, and just to give you a recap of what has happened so far, these parents have been sharing with us that while one little girl came home and complained to her parents, to her mother, about pain in her private parts, and then after that complaint was officially made, 40 other children in the same school complained. So this has been going on for a while. Now, the school is not being held responsible. The one individual is behind bars, but the school has reopened. And that's absolutely shocking, because it obviously means that this school is just not being held accountable for what it was doing to these children. And the school is responsible for the children between a certain amount of time when the children are in school. Why is it that the governments and the law have absolutely no teeth when it comes to children?
You know, we need to look at child sexual abuse with as much seriousness as we can, because India has the largest number of sexually abused children. When you compare to the rest of the world, we have a child below the age of 16 being raped every 155th minute in India. The present offence also that you're describing to me under legal terms of the POCSO Act will be defined as aggravated sexual assault, not just sexual assault. And the reason why it's defined as aggravated is because under the law it's clearly defined any child below the age of 12 that gets sexually abused, the offence becomes aggravated. More than that, if the offence is committed by the management or staff of any person in charge of an educational institute, the offence is automatically defined as aggravated, because the sexual abuse is done by people in position of trust and authority. In this space, the educational institute obviously has onus. Obviously it does. The fact that we've been talking about this and that the educational institute here has not extended support to the parents is wrong on legal grounds, is wrong on humanitarian grounds, and this is where government authorities need to step in. Whom will you not speak up for if not for the parents of children? And mind you, these parents are brave here, because I see child sexual abuse cases on a day-to-day basis. Every educational institute I step into, I've had children coming up to me admitting that they've been sexually abused and that their parents don't report these cases because they keep, they thrive in the silence. Here we have strong, brave parents who are coming forth, fighting for justice, and they feel let down by the system. At this point, we have to question everyone. We have to question the police. We have to question the education institute. We have to force the government to take action and step in, because children are being sexually abused at an alarming rate in India. And also the child protection policy is based on the principle of United Nations Convention of Rights of Children. And in that Convention on the Rights of Child is very clearly defined. So obviously children in preschool, children in creches do qualify, and it's obnoxious that their rights here are not being guaranteed. They are the most vulnerable section of society. If you will not account for them, whom else will you account for?
Trisha, I should also point out that one of the parents very scarily told us yesterday that when they filed the police complaint and this particular individual was being taken away by the police, the principal of the school went to the parents and asked them to drop the cases so that this individual needn't have gone to jail. Major Aditi Mohan, who's fighting with those parents, have things gotten any better? Aditi Mohan, since yesterday, when the representatives of the government on this show made us a varied color of promises.
Status quo, ma'am. I would probably say status quo. Today we are here discussing about that the preschools are not registered. They're going to register. My question to you is, when we come under the child protection policy, and I heard the Honorable the DPI Commissioner. Now I would like to question her that, ma'am, if this preschool was not registered, should anything happen meanwhile before the registration of all the other preschools takes place, tell me what happens in Bangalore or across India. This amounts to that I think parents should start taking the children out of the preschools because they're not registered. Because tomorrow you're going to turn around and say that this school was not registered, so we're not responsible as on date. Second, please define educational institution for me. If she cannot, I will read it out for you, that the educational institution imparts education and training below the degree level to the age from 2.5 years to 18 years. Now in this CPP also, ma'am, it is clearly mentioned, and I would state against what Ms. Trisha Shetty mentioned in her interview as I heard it, that it is from LKG and UKG. I'm sorry, ma'am. As per the policy, the nursery too is involved under this policy. It has been drafted beautifully, ma'am. 159-page document is here with me from the KSCPP. It is very beautifully written by the Chief Secretary on 1st of May 2016. 2016, ma'am. It took 2 years, 2016. And please let me remind you, Vibgyor was not the first case. That very year, a few months earlier to that, a case of a preschool, of a chain of school, I would not name on air, which is on Sarjapur Road in Bengaluru. A 2.5-year-old baby girl was molested. We were still standing there. What happened after that? The government didn't move, the DPI didn't move, the policy did not change, the preschools didn't get registered. So that is one. I want to know what's going to happen to this case now. Are you telling me that the case is going to shut down because the preschool is not registered? Then why are we sitting here and talking? The police status remains as it was.
Let me bring in Nagaraj Yadav, who's representing the Congress on this panel. Nagaraj Yadav, you've heard all of the voices, and the most disturbing voices right now are parents who, in this position that they're in at this point, feel that they have to run pillar to post to get justice. How can we today, in this day and age, knowing everything we need to know? And let's be honest, the government of Karnataka knows everything it needs to know. You formulated a very nice child protection policy that you've not implemented. You've chosen to not implement it. How can you allow these parents to feel this way? How can you allow this feeling now to translate to every parent who lives in the city of Bangalore who's wondering, is my child safe? What is the government doing for us? Will we get justice in these cases? Why is the government letting down these children and these parents so desperately?
Ma'am, I have definitely assured and I appreciate all these parents who come forward to lodge a complaint, and I know what exactly is happening. This is not acceptable, it is condemnable, and Congress government in Karnataka will definitely assure that every child in this society has to be secured, every parent's issues to be addressed, and we are there. And Siddaramaiah Sahab has taken a decision now, include these schools also into a registration, and in particular this particular school, what has happened, whether the school is registered or not, the school management is accountable for it, and we will see that they will be accountable and will be booked under law. What comes, what goes. We should see that the justice is to be given to the child. Not only in this case, any of such cases, we will not allow the management to get away like this. Anybody runs at a school, at whatever level, whether registered or not registered, they are accountable for every child who joins the school, and they should see that the infrastructure is created in such a way that there is CCTV cameras are there are women employees are there to take care of the children, and there should be all kinds of measures should be taken by the management if they want to run a school. Otherwise, they are not supposed to run a school. If they are doing anything illegal, which they are accountable for it. And the police of Bangalore has acted very strongly against the complaints was given, and Manjunath is arrested.
Nagaraj, I appreciate your coming in and making these. Yeah, I appreciate your coming in and making these statements, saying that the government is going to do everything it can. But you are you realize that you are speaking after 4 parents have just told us the government is doing nothing to help them. Now, Neeveli, you tell me right now,
the minute the police,
assure these parents what you're going to do. Assure Aditi Mohan what you're going to do.
I am assuring the parents. I am assuring the parents. Don't give me lip service. No. Please believe me. I am telling you this, madam. The minute the school has approached the principal, when the principal has not taken any action against the accused, and when the people approach the local police station, the police commissioner, additional police commissioner of law and order, Mr. Hemant Nimbalkar, has acted on the spot, and we saw that the accused is arrested, and we are not going to spare anybody involved in this, including the management. If there is a complaint against them, if there is no complaint, the government is going to be very strict against the management, and this is not acceptable. Whether the child is a particular child or anybody's child is a child. Child should be protected, and the law, in the name of law and and the weaknesses in law should not be used to
That's a great
get
speech,
away
Mr.
from
Nagaraj, but there's not enough action. There's one parent.
17, the parent.
One second, I want to just put this out. One second, Aditi Mohan, 1 second. I just want to put it out here that if the parents want to say anything at any point, just raise your hand. There is someone with your hand raised already. Go ahead, sir. We can all hear you.
It's a simple thing, sir. 10 days have passed. Where is the principal? She has to be behind the jail. Where are the authorities? We don't even know.
Of course.
They have the cheek to call on the parents and tell that
There
we
is
are putting the daycare in the same building.
No, what I'm
Sorry,
trying to
sir,
say
I
is there is
don't
no
know.
interest for government to protect a principal. In what way we want to protect the principal? In what way we are
Sir,
considering? We are not interested in protecting the principal at all. We are interested in protecting the child.
I am sorry, sir. We don't trust that statement. You being in the highest position of authority, the police commissioner being in the highest position of authority, the additional commissioner of police being in the highest position of authority. If the principal is still roaming free, you yourself are saying that you hold them accountable. Then why are they not arrested?
Sir,
they were arrested under section 188 and released 5 minutes after that. They have not been arrested under POCSO. Where is the principal? Where is the admin staff? Have they been questioned? We as parents have not received any information. We don't trust your statement. You say that you are with us, but we don't trust you because we have not seen any action. We have been running from pillar to post for the last 12 days.
Sir, 10 days ho gaye, sir. 10 days.
We don't want words, we want it in action.
आपके सारे मिनिस्टर कुछ ना कुछ आगे बोल के जाते हैं।
You're not allowing me to speak. Let me tell you one thing. Now let me tell you one thing. No.
Okay. Mr. Nagaraj, we don't, on this show we allow everybody to speak. You've heard the parents. 1 second, sir. You've heard the parents and I will go back to them in a little while, but please respond to them.
Everybody speaks at a time, right?
Go ahead, sir. Everybody's listening.
I only want to say that, I only want to say that the Chief Minister has taken personal interest in this matter. We are not taking any of the single cases light. We have to see that every case is taken seriously and the government of Karnataka is completely committed to protect every child in a school, whether the school is registered or unregistered. We cannot find any weakness. Let me complete it. Let me complete it. Let me complete. Government has got no interest in protecting a school principal. Why does the government want to protect the school interest? What is the interest we have to protect the principal? We are not of that class. Please don't mistake us. We are not.
Put her out there. Section 21 needs to be converted into Section 16, sir. You put her out there because she's been not there for the last 10 days. Yes. We have been going to the police every highest official we've gone, sir.
Do you think the police is want to support her?
She is a politician's daughter, sir. We said it on air. What do you want me to say now?
No, I'm telling you, madam.
She is a ruling MLC's daughter. I have been very clear. Then change the section, sir. Change the section.
There is no question of protecting any principal or anybody in that matter who is guilty of the offence.
Okay, all right.
Who is guilty of an
Let us
offence.
see tomorrow that the principal is charged under Section 16 and she is put behind the bars. Let me see how much the government of Karnataka is taking keen interest for the safety of children.
But one thing I tell you, madam, the police commissioner and the police commissioner and the government of Karnataka is very seriously looking into this matter.
Okay, one at a time. If we all shout at each other, the audience cannot understand us and then we defeat our purpose. Nagaraj Yadav.
Talk together.
Yes, Nagaraj Yadav. The question that everybody, yes, sir, I'll give you time. The question that everybody is asking is simply this. 1 second, sir. One second. Let me just crystallize the question so our audience can understand it. The principal of the school has been missing for 10 days. Yes. Now, according to what Nagaraj Yadav himself said, that the school, and both of the lawyers present on the panel pointed out that the school is responsible, that the people running the school is responsible, especially if 40 students have come forward, small little 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old babies have come forward saying they're feeling pain because they have been sexually molested. This principal is missing. Aditi Mohan, who's been working with these parents, has pointed out, 1 second, sir, let me finish my question, has pointed out that this particular principal is related to a member of the ruling party. So is the government working very hard to give justice, or is the government working very hard to protect this principal, sir? Go ahead.
No, let me tell you, madam, please give me a chance. Let the parents also give me a chance. There is no question of protecting the principal, whoever she is connected to. Whether the ruling party MLC's child or daughter or not, it doesn't be connected to the law. The law will take its own action. The government is committed. Government is committed to take action against anybody involved in this. In this particular case, the school management is sole responsible for what has happened, and they have to be booked into the case, and the police has taken up the case. She may be running 10 days, been missing, but she cannot escape from law. The government of Karnataka today, the Congress government in Karnataka, will ensure 6.5 crores people in Karnataka will be protected, including every child in the school or anywhere in the school or any part of the Karnataka state. We will see that the child is protected. Any such cases are brought to the notice of the police or to the authorities, we will stand by the child and will stand by the complaint, and we will give the protection to the child and the parents or anybody involved. But anybody involved in that particular case, if try to escape, try to say that they are the part of the ruling government, that is not acceptable to the Congress party, and Congress party will never support anybody involved in such a case.
Trisha Shetty, we are actually fortunate here because very rarely in any of the cases do we get an assurance from the state government that they'll do everything they can. How can the state government, and let's actually, because I don't like these vague statements, crystallize it. If the state government was actually going to do everything it can to give justice, what are those things that the state government can do right now?
Firstly, just before I start that, I just want to clearly point out that as right holders, the duty bearers are accountable to us. It's unfortunate here that I heard one of the parents say that, we'll support your next election if you just ensure us that our children are safe. Is this the situation that the Congress, the current ruling party, because I don't want to get into political blame game, wants to set precedent where you have parents of sexually abused children asking you what more can they do for you to do your job? Coming back to what needs to be done to actually safeguard the rights of children, under the POCSO Act, there's a clear definition of abetment of an offence. It clearly states that any person who abets the offence shall be served the same punishment as such a person who has committed said offence. So obviously here the police has, it's within their jurisdiction, it's under their portfolio to make sure that they call the principal, have her in custody and question her in relation to this crime. There is no reason as to why the principal should be scot-free, especially if there's backing of her political background. It obviously weighs merit on this case.
There's no reason why the principal was not arrested on day one.
Of course, because in this case, when you have 40 children who are coming under her portfolio as a principal, she is accountable for their safety. She is the person in position of trust and authority. Of course, the children's safety, it comes under her portfolio. She should have been held accountable. And abetment, there's a clear offence for that. Also, second, the fact that the principal has dissuaded the parents from reporting the offence, that in itself is an offence. It is an offence under the POCSO Act to know that a child is being sexually abused and not report it. It is a bigger offence to discourage someone else from reporting the crime. Just knowing that a child has been sexually abused, you are legally obligated to report the offence. So there are multiple sections under the POCSO Act that you can arrest her.
By not arresting her, the police have not done their job and they have not followed the act to prevent harm to children or to prevent sexual offence to children.
And just another quick line, given that it is a child sexual abuse case, the burden of proof is on the accused, not on the other party. So the accused has to prove that, the principal has to prove that she was not cognizant of the offence. The principal has to prove that the second she found out about the offence, she took the necessary action. So there is every ground here to charge the principal and hold her accountable, and not doing so is in violation of the law.
Yeah, do we really deserve these sleepless nights? Do we really deserve all this stress that we're taking? I mean,
sir, a simple question to you. You hold them accountable. Just couple of minutes ago, you confirmed that on the show. Can you give us a deadline by when this principal will be booked? Now that we have the legal opinions, now that we know the sections, can you give us a deadline tomorrow, day after tomorrow? Can you give us a deadline? A very simple question to you. Your government is committed. We trust your words. When will the principal be booked, arrested, questioned, interrogated, and the truth will come out? For all we know, there are a lot more bigger horror stories that are under the carpet. Can you give us an assurance tomorrow, day after? Can you give us a finite timeline?
Well, Nagaraj Yadav, from what Trisha Shetty is saying...
See, they are asking me when will be arrested and all that, saying that. But only one thing I can say, it is not the question of when today or tomorrow, day of tomorrow. One thing is definite, when the Congress government is here, she cannot escape from law. And she has to be under the law, and she will be treated exactly what has to be treated as an accused.
It's not happened already.
And we will see that the cases are filed against them. And
Nagaraj Yadav, if that is true, she should have been in jail already. Trisha Shetty is very clearly saying that she should have been arrested on the first day. Now we are in day 10 and nobody knows where she is.
What we are trying to tell you is, No, let me tell you one thing, madam. The investigations are on. She cannot escape from the investigation. She cannot get away from the law, and the law is going to be strict, and the government of Karnataka has made it very clear. Chief Minister also has given instruction to the police commissioner and the Home Minister, and the Home Minister also has given instructions. You see that every person, no, please believe me, I'm telling you, we are definitely going to we have been taking an action. You know what we have done to that Manjunath. We are definitely going to take action against the management also. Management is accountable for it. I am telling you very straight, the government is going to make them accountable and they will be under the law.
Mr.
And
Vasudev?
when it will be arrested, it's the police who will be arrested. I cannot say what will be arrested tomorrow morning.
All right, I have Krishna Kumar. One second, Mr. Nagaraj. I have Krishna Kumar who's on the phone line, and I want to point out that our phone line.
Let me.
Okay.
No, let me complete it, madam. Because the police of Bangalore police is strict. That's why she's on the run today.
Oh, no.
Why is she just escaping today?
Sir,
tell me why
please
she's away
don't
from
treat us like this is our first show and this is our first conversation. If your police was on the was strict, if the Bangalore police was strict, let me point out to you, she would not be running, she would be in jail. Second, if the Bangalore police was strict, let me point out to our audience today that the victim of the Kamanahalli molestation on New Year's Eve has currently disappeared. She is no longer taking calls from the police because that is how strict the Bangalore police is. That the victim right now is no longer making herself available because that is how strict the Bangalore police is. So please, sir, this is not the first show that I am doing about Bangalore and the Bangalore police.
Ma'am, he doesn't let us talk.
Okay, one second.
Ma'am, we are not demoralized.
One of the best police, and we'll see that this has been handled in a very strict
Right now you're sitting and talking on behalf of the government. Now start talking as a father also.
Of course, I have a daughter.
If I start narrating how the police
I am also a parent. I have a daughter.
Sir,
My daughter is studying in school. I understand.
No, one second. Let her finish. One second, Mr. Nagaraj, let her finish. Go ahead. Ms. Menon, go ahead.
Start narrating how the police authorities have dealt with us from day 1 till the day 3rd until we did the peace protest. Sir, you'll be shocked.
Please tell us.
You'll be shocked. We cannot say so much on air. Ma'am, I have no uncertain words. I have no uncertain words.
No, one second. Mr. Nagaraj, don't interrupt her.
Should I start making statements on air?
No, Mr. Nagaraj, don't interrupt her. Let her finish saying what she wants to say.
Sir, you'll have to keep quiet. You've been talking for a very long time.
But she cannot blame the police and demoralize the police for that.
No. Nobody's demoralizing the police. Nobody's demoralizing the police. We want to hear what Aditi Mohan has to say. Go ahead.
Because parents were there. Yeah, you have to.
I always respect
No, sir.
What you're saying is right.
Sir, we are also respecting the government.
Mr. Hemant Nimbarkar has taken up the case seriously.
Sir, we are going by the law. We have not even broken any law.
Okay, one second. Aditi Mohan, Nagaraj Yadav, one second. Just give me a minute's silence. There is a parent who wants to say something, and I will constantly interrupt conversation to allow the parents to speak. I want you to just tell us, parents who have gathered, tell us this. From the day of the first complaint, from day 1 to day 10 today, what happened when you approached the police?
Exactly what's happening now. We have just heard words. We have heard we will take action, but believe me, I don't think we have seen any action against the authorities on the ground. Day 1, when it was about Manjunath, he was arrested within 2 hours. But now, the moment needle is on authorities, nobody is taking any action.
So we have heard assurances from the police authorities. None of the police authorities actually said us that we are not going to take action. They have all said we are on with you, we will take action, we support you, this, that, blah, blah, whatever ministers are saying. But, and this is from day 3rd, so far, we initially reported the first incident was reported on February 17th. This is the 12th day on February 28th. All of us, the parents gathered on February 20th, which was Monday. From then till now, all we have heard is the same set of assurances that Minister Sir is giving us right now.
Sir, one request. I am okay. Please get the 164 statement from our children as quickly as possible. We handed over with over 500 signatures on the paper. We haven't heard anything from the police. We haven't heard anything from the government. Yeah, our children will keep reciting the story till your case gets over. Please be human, sir. They are 3-year-old children. We are respecting the law and we are saying okay.
No, please not make politicalize an issue on this. This child is a child. My
Trisha Shetty, there is a problem. One second. Aditi Mohan and Nagaraj Yadav, please don't squabble among yourselves. One second, Trisha Shetty, there is a problem here with the statements that have been taken. The parents have told us yesterday, one second, sir. The parents have told us yesterday that they have already given the children themselves, 2.5 and 3 years old, have already given descriptive evidence and, statements to the police. They want this process to be over as soon as possible so the children do not have to relive that experience. I think it is a very simple thing to ask. Is it fair and can this be done?
Also, the legal mandate is on their side under the POC.
Let her finish. One second, sir. Let me just get a legal view and then I'll come to you. Mr. Nagaraj, I'll come to you.
Get that done tomorrow. I will respect you, sir. Get that done tomorrow. I will respect you. I'll respect the government. Can you get our children to make the statements, give the statements tomorrow? If you can, I am telling you, we all parents will respect you for that. If that is what, if you're really serious, please, at least not for our sake, for our children's sake, get it done tomorrow. Live by your words. You are saying you have children also, and please, we will really respect. This is a request not only for you, for the Chief Minister, sir, for the Commissioner. If you can get it done tomorrow, we will again trust you on your words.
All right, 1 second. I just want to get a legal view here. Trisha Shetty, finish what you were saying and then I'll go to Mr. Vasudeva.
Under the legal mandate, because of the POCSO Act and truly understanding that here the victim is a child, firstly, the statements have to be in-camera statements. You cannot have the child visiting police stations. Statements should be taken in environments that the child feels comfortable taking the statement by police officials who are not wearing who are not in uniform either, so the child does not get intimidated in the presence of someone whom they trust, the presence of their parent. The statement needs to be taken. Also, all of this is time stipulated, given that it's child sexual abuse cases. They are time bound. Another thing is for 164, the statement has to be taken. It has to be in camera as well with a counsellor. Another thing, counselling. Have these parents been offered counselling services by the police officials? Our law enforcement here needs to offer services of a counsellor to the child. Make sure that the child has a translator if need be, and make sure that you take the child's statement in a swift and convenient manner for the child to not traumatize the child further. This is what the legal mandate requires of us. Secondly, coming back to the person who is representing the government, how can you sit here and with what shame are you asking the parents to not politicize the event? I mean, here they are sitting in front of you saying that their children have been sexually abused, and all they seem to be asking of the government is to take cognizance of this issue, is to treat it with a little bit of seriousness. Are you telling me that the Karnataka legal enforcement, if I may finish, are you telling me that the Karnataka legal enforcement is so weak that they cannot track down the management of the school for you? Is that the messaging that the Karnataka government is putting out right now, that your law enforcement team is so inefficient that they can't track down the management of an educational institute?
No, I'll talk, sir. I'll talk.
For clear offences under this act.
Vasudeva Sharma, 1 second. Vasudeva Sharma, Trisha Shetty put out some very, very good points on how the statements should be taken and the fact that the parents and the children should have been offered counselling by now. My guess is a lot of this has not been followed. How often do the police cut corners? And we understood from the parents yesterday that when they went to file the complaint the first time around, the police first of all spoke to them, wrote the complaint in Kannada, which a lot of them do not understand, then filed a complaint for negligence instead of the complaint that actually should have been filed. How often do the police cut corners when it comes to abuse of children?
I appreciate the parents for coming out and making these statements in public. First of all, many of our policemen are not really fully aware of the legal aspects of it. But I'm really surprised that this 164 statement has not yet been taken by the children. Going back to what Trisha was telling, yes, the police have to come with assistance of translation. If the children cannot speak, they have to be given other kind of measures so that they can articulate what has happened to these children. Secondly, I'm not an advocate, but I'm into child rights advocacy. In the last 10-15 years, we have seen that it was only NGOs and some activists who are going out with legal aspects to the police stations as well as to the courts and to the higher-ups in the government. But today, there are so many parents who are aware of it. These people are aware of the legal aspects and they are going to the police, going to the authorities, whether it is Child Welfare Committee or Child Rights Commission, or even approaching the higher-ups in the government. Now, coming back here, I'm really sorry that what Mr. Nagaraj is making statements that today, now, the government, Congress government, etc. I'm not politicizing, but it is politics which has actually spoiled the whole scene. In the last 10-15 years, it is these politicians who have not allowed preschools and these nursery schools to come under the act, under the ambit of the child protection policy. Just go back 2 years ago when this child protection policy was put out. It is these politicians who had opposed. It was out on the newspaper. It was out in the media. Today, at least today, they are making a political statement. Today, they are making a child protection policy statement that it will be coming under the child protection policy. What needs to be done is all parents, whenever you are putting your child into a nursery or a preschool or a school, ask them openly, ask the school authorities whether you have a child protection policy or not. Let it be the first indicator to go further. What needs to be done now is to protect these children, these parents, and offer them counseling services.
Right. In fact, I'll come back to you, but we have two people on the phone line who've been waiting for a fairly long time. Krishna Kumar from Bangalore has been on the line. Krishna Kumar, you are on the show. Go ahead.
Yeah. See, I've been watching your show. See, my question to you and Ms. Shetty is very simple. There are a lot of child abuse cases happening and rapes happening all over the country, irrespective of the state. Now, can any law be brought in which will, once the criminal is identified and he is found guilty, he needs to be bobitized? This will just prevent the further happening of crimes. Even though it is a bit barbaric, but this fear needs to be put in the minds of the perpetrators who will not do the further crime.
Okay, I don't think the question really here is on what the punishment is, but in the actual carrying out of the law that's already set in place. Manoj is on the phone line from Bangalore. Manoj, go ahead.
I'd like to ask the gentleman with the checkered shirt there.
Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever his name is. He said he's a parent. So what would you have done if something like this had happened to your child?
Okay. Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, it's a very simple question, which was also a question that one of the parents asked you. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, definitely. See, now in our panelists, lot of legal lookout was given to on this, and definitely I accept the suggestions made by the panelists here, saying that all the children's statements to be made, and it should be made in such a way, it should be under the camera, and where it should not be in a situation where the children.
So those are not suggestions, that's the law, sir. So, Mr. Nagaraj, those are not useful suggestions, that is the law. It should have already happened.
You allow us, madam, the problem is that you are not allowing me to speak. Let me say that. They have been mentioning all these things. We are aware of those things. The police commissioner is aware of all these things. We are definitely going to do all these things. No, not that it's going to let off the criminals to do whatever they want in Bangalore. This cannot happen. What I'm saying is that the panelist was kind enough to tell us these things. We want to assure them that what their suggestions will be taken very seriously, and it definitely under the law, in the purview of law, and the police commissioner is going to utilize all things possible to see that the culprits have been booked. And second thing, one more gentleman asked me on the phone, asking me that I am a parent. I believe that I have a daughter, and what is your stand on this? I am telling you, whatever has happened, I feel pain. It's as good as has happened to my daughter. I'm telling you, this cannot be tolerated at any cost. And I also talked to the Chief Minister and definitely talk to the Police Commissioner to be more strict on these issues. And we'll see that everybody involved in this, including the management, is being booked under these cases.
Well, I see a parent with their hand up. Go ahead, sir. What would you like to say?
I have a question to experts here.
Yes.
We spoke about sections, right? And I'm specifically focusing on not on Manjunath but on the administration. Now, my question to experts is, if they are booked under POSCO, right? They should be arrested or not? Yes or no?
Most definitely.
they have to be arrested.
Most definitely. And the burden of proof is also on the person who's accused. Like I said, there's a clear definition for people who are abetting the crime.
I think the question here, Trisha, is this. If this person has been on the run for the last 10 days, and if they should ideally be booked under POSCO, shouldn't the police have issued a warrant and a search to locate this person by now?
I would in fact even ask, is any of their names listed in the FIR that you filed a complaint under?
The
police should have ensured.
Yes, all of us have done.
Get them.
You know, the police should have ensured that the names are listed in the FIR, and if they have, they should have. If the person is missing and not available for questioning, they have every right to ask for non-bailable, hajrami, to ask for non-bailable arrest warrants in their name if the person is missing. Also, just to Mr. Nagarajan, I don't think you understand this law at all, because in-camera proceeding does not mean under the camera. In-camera proceeding means in private, because the child's safety and anonymity needs to be maintained at all costs, which is why in-camera proceeding means to respect the privacy of the child, not under the camera. I wish you took 2 minutes out to understand the seriousness of this offence, to understand what the law that applies to this offence is. Then you could properly critique on this issue, as opposed to standing here and saying, don't judge our government, we are doing our work, we care for safety. You don't know the laws that apply to ensure safety of these children.
Aditi Mohan, have the parents been and the children been offered counselling?
No, not that we don't understand the law. You should have trust in the government and the police.
Okay, 1 second, sir. Sir, you've had your say. Mr. Nagaraj, you've had your say. Let her talk.
Let me complete what I'm
Mr.
saying.
Nagaraj, you've had your say. 1 second. 1 second. Aditi Mohan, have the parents and the children been offered counselling by the police?
Mohan is taking out too much of time.
Ma'am, they have. Ma'am, let me bring you back to the point that the Honourable Lady, Ms. Shetty, has pointed out, and she's already said that under the POXO Act, para 24, 25, 26, the offences and the recording of the statements, ma'am, let me tell you, the law has been broken already. The lady constable has to be under the rank of not below the rank of a sub-inspector. Ma'am, the lady has gone in uniform. The children have been called to the school to give the recording. The recordings have been done multiple times. All of this has been broken, and my honourable sir sitting next to me, let me tell you, sir, please, I would request, when the Congress government sends anybody on air, yesterday we had Miss Reddy, today we have you, sir, you have not even gone to the depth of this case, you have not even at least made an effort to go through the POXO Act, sir. Section 21, which has been put, ma'am, Ms. Shetty, ma'am, please tell me, does not the concealment of the facts or the misrepresentation fall under Section 16? Yes or no, ma'am? Please help us, because we are not the lawmakers.
Of course
we do
it
not
does.
understand
Of
law
course
so much.
it does.
Sir, nothing.
All
has been
And also the mere allegation by a child is enough to register an offence.
You should not. No, it is not right, Aditi Mohan, to tell that the law is already broken, the police is not following the law, police doesn't understand POSCO Act and all that. We are definitely telling you that we have taken this case very seriously.
But what seriousness are you talking about? Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, enough. Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, do not give any more lip service on this show, enough. Everything you have said up till now, these parents and Aditi Mohan have refuted. They have been talking to us since yesterday. We've been tracking this case for the last 1 week. Nothing you are saying is actual facts, Mr. Nagaraj Yadav.
One last statement, ma'am. I will say it now. When we were with the top cop, ma'am, he had not even read the application. We said this is put under Section 3 and 4 and it should be under Section 5 and 6. He said, oh really? I haven't gone through the application. I'm going to go through it. Sir, we parents have been dying each day. Each day. And today you're telling me you haven't even read the POXO Act? You are unaware that the police has already questioned the children. They have gone to their houses to the extent that when a little child was to be interrogated in the apartment, when the son, who was barely 5-6-year-old, who was not supposed to be interrogated, but her younger sibling was to be interrogated, ma'am, the boy of 5-6-year-old got threatened. But when the lady came in uniform.
Now, first of all, the children are not supposed to be interrogated at all.
Ma'am,
The statements have to be registered. Trisha, this is, I mean, I'm sure if we sit and go over it point by point, we will find that there are several things.
No, but Aditi Mohan is representing it wrong. It is not interrogation. They were trying to take the statements and trying to find
Mr.
out
Nagaraj Yadav, were you there?
That is not that way.
Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, were you present at that in location? Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, were you present on location? Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, were you present?
You don't even know the case.
Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, were you present?
What she's telling. How will the...
Were you present, sir?
I have been with them from
Mr. Nagaraj Yadav, were you present when the statements were being recorded?
I was not present.
So then how do you know?
I was not present, but
how
it's not interrogation. Because the way
let's ask the parents. Let me just go over to the parents. Taken. One second, sir. Let's ask someone who was there. There is a parent with a hand up. Them. Please go ahead. Tell us how the statements of your children were recorded.
So, the police, the constable went in her uniform to one of the houses. There were instances when police were standing on the door and then knocking, saying, "We are standing outside, we have come to question the child, or we have come to take the statement." Imagine what the child would have gone through to see police.
Well, there's only one thing that we have proven here right now. I have to wrap up this show, but I promise you and I promise the parents that we will continue to have conversations. We will insist that the government of Karnataka, from Chief Minister downwards, send us someone who can do their homework. The police have not done their job. The government has not done its job. If they had done this job, the principal would be behind bars and the police would take this case seriously. We're talking about 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds here. 40 of them were sexually abused before any sort of justice, any sort of complaint came forward. This is completely and utterly irresponsible and unacceptable for the parents of Bangalore. The government of Karnataka should be embarrassed and should not in any way demand our trust until they can do better. We will be talking about this non-stop every day until we get some sort of justice and some action from the government of Karnataka. Thanks for watching.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.